Hi students, so now we will be getting introduced to certain new formulas, maybe 6 or 7 new formulas, all right? And you will find direct applications of these respective formulas into the different problems of integration. These are all the like 7 more standard integral formulas that you will be dealing with. We haven't dealt with any of these formulas ever before, okay? And these formulas are comparatively complicated with respect to the fact that the expression is a bit longer, all right? So let's go ahead. So the first of the 7 formula is 1 divided by integration of 1 divided by x square minus a square into dx. Whenever you have any integration problem which comes into this particular pattern, you will be having this, you will have to write this particular formula. So what is it? Integration of 1 by x square minus a square into dx is equal to 1 by 2a log of mod of x minus a divided by x plus a plus c. So this will be our first formula, okay? Second, integration of 1 by a square minus x square into dx. This will be 1 by 2a into log of a plus x divided by a minus x plus c. I wrote these two formulas one after the other. Now I'll be writing these formulas in a very specific sequence, all right? This way of memorizing is not mandatory, but I am showing it to you in this particular sequence so that you are able to correlate and remember it better, all right? So see it here. As for example, you have integration of 1 by x square minus a square dx, right? So the formula comes as 1 by 2a log of x minus a divided by x plus a plus c, okay? Now say for example, if in place of x square I have a square and in place of a square I have x square, like the second, if like this becomes 1 by a square minus x square, then what changes will we be having in the particular formula? 1 by 2a and log of mod will remain the same, plus c will also remain as it is, but in place of x minus a we will have a plus x, and in place of x plus a in the denominator we will be having a minus x. So when it is x square minus a square, then x comes first both in numerator and denominator, and when it's a square minus x square, then a comes first in both numerator and denominator, okay? And secondly, what is the difference? There is a difference in the sign in between x and a, okay? When we have 1 by x square minus a square, we have a negative in the numerator and positive in the denominator, and in case of a square minus x square, it's positive in the numerator and negative in the denominator, just the exact opposite of what we have in x square minus a square. So from these two formulas, what are the basic differences that we learned? Number one is that whether we have x here or whether we have a here, based on that our first term here will be decided. If we have x square minus a square, then we will have x here. If we have a square minus x square, then we will have a here, all right? And in place of a, then it will become x, okay? And second difference what we noticed is, in case of 1 by x square minus a square, there is a negative in the numerator and positive in the denominator, and in the case of a square minus x square, we have a positive in the numerator and negative in the denominator. Alright, enough of explanation. Now we will be moving on to our third formula, which is also very easy. Third and fourth formula are relatable, even though the terms are not. So in the third formula we have something like this, and in the fourth formula we will be having something like this. Although these two integrals essentially don't look the same, but moreover their terms somehow can be related. So we have an integration 1 by root over of a square minus x square into dx. For this the formula is sine inverse of x by a plus c, where mod of x is less than a, alright, and in this case we have a 1 by a tan inverse of, I think it's x by a plus c. Yes. So these are the again two formulas based on trigonometry. Alright, this is why I wrote them both one after the other. So based on trigonometry, in the sense the form is almost the same. Okay, in case of this root over of a square minus x square, 1 by root over of a square minus x square, we have a sine inverse x by a. And in case of integration of 1 by x square plus a square into dx, we have a tan inverse of x by a, but here we also have a 1 by a included. Alright. Moreover, there is also a plus c in both of them, which is also very common in any of the integration formulas or problems that we have dealt with so far. And one more thing is that here we are stuck with a condition, that is we have to maintain this condition, that is mod x will always be less than a. Okay, else there will be issues. Okay, now that we have reached here, we have completed 4 of our formulas. Now we will be completing the rest 3. Now the rest 3 of the formulas, out of the rest 3 of the formulas, one formula, okay, there is another formula which is very relatable, and that is integration of 1 by x into root over of x square minus a square into dx equal to 1 by a into sec inverse of, this is sec inverse of x by a plus c, where x is greater than a. This is also very relatable, because in all of these cases you can see we have an x by a, we have an x by a, we have an x by a. But in case of these two formulas, we also have 1 by a and 1 by a in front of this particular thing, trigonometric function. Alright, so that's the only difference, else these 3 formulas are more or less the same. There are certain differences, like I said, 1 by a is one of them, and the other is sine, tan and sec is one of the difference, and the other difference is the conditions required respectively, they are a bit different. Okay, so this was all about the 5 formulas. Now the last 2 formulas are also very relatable, because they are based on log directly. So we have a 1 by root over of x square plus a square, alright, into dx, and in the 7th and the last formula we have 1 by root over of x square minus a square into dx. So how, what is the formula that we will be having here in place of this? We will be having a log of mod of x plus root over of x square plus a square, mod gets closed, plus c. And here we will be having log of mod x plus root over of x square minus a square, you can relate it y plus c, and here we will be having a specific condition, mod x is greater than a. You will be getting these kinds of conditions only when we have, you will be getting these kinds of conditions, this and this, only when you will see that there is a negative sign. Alright, so Also, the last two formulas you can very clearly see are highly relatable, because here both have logs in them, and in the place of mod x plus is present in both of them. In the root over, you have the denominator directly, right? In the other term, the first term is x in both of them, and the second term is simply the denominator which has been placed here, and the mod of it plus c. The only difference is, I think, this condition. Always remember, whenever you will be having a negative sign, specifically in this formula, and in this formula, you will have to remember these conditions as well. Is that clear? I hope it is, because possibly I have explained it all. Essentially, in these though there are negative signs in these first formulas, still you could ask that why these conditions are not valid here. There must be some condition here also, but actually in place of log here, you know, the log thing has already been taken up as mod. So you will anyway be getting a positive function only. Alright, so you will be only dealing with some probable realistic functions only. This is why you will always be getting a realistic answer, and you will always be using a realistic expression from here. Okay, mod is placed for that purpose only, so that things don't get negative. Alright, so as we reach here, log of mod. Okay, so this is the reason essentially why the first two formulas don't have any conditions respectively, but in here we will be having the respective, like here we have a condition, here we have a condition, right? And here we have a condition. We have these conditions because here we need them. Even though we had a mod here, essentially we did have a mod here, we did have a modulus here, but still we needed it because there is a root over. Okay, so this condition was necessary. All right, so this was all about the 7 formulas that you learned today. All right, mug them up really high and hard. Don't ask me where are the derivations, because this is not the maths general course that you are doing. You will be appearing for either competitive examinations or you will be appearing for your board examinations, and none of these exams will ask you anything about the derivations. If you really would want to go through the derivations, then that's a different question. I'll upload videos only when I get time, because that is not mandatory. As I told you, our preparation will be very highly focused, will be very, very objective centric. It won't be like anything and everything. I won't be pulling down anything and everything just to make sure that you are full of knowledge. There is no need for you to have so much of knowledge, because these examinations actually tests how well you are able to implement what you have studied. So having knowledge is not of much use as of now. I'm trying to basically be very focused on what is needed, because time is very limited, so I cannot really just get over all of these things. All of those derivations and stuffs definitely are important, but they can be dealt with in some separate video or some separate module which I'll be doing. Maybe while I'll be teaching Olympiads and all, then I'll be including those in that particular topic, because in examinations like Olympiad or KVPY we need depth, right? So there those derivations or whatever it is, maybe not necessarily in integration, maybe in other chapters also, their derivations are very important because they ask those kinds of questions. But in these examinations like board exams or in competitive examinations, you are never asked about derivations. So it's just a waste of time. And why will you waste time in these things? Because you can devote or commit yourself too much to solving many other problems, right? Why will you waste time in doing derivations which ultimately will be not fruitful? Okay, so these are the 7 formulas which I want you to just get back and study really hard. You shouldn't forget it. Once you read it today, you will have to remember it throughout your life, whether you do it in engineering or whatever. It becomes very hard, trust me. In engineering, most of the students tend to forget the formulas of integration and then they have to get back, which is of course not a very cool thing in general. So I want you to you can do one thing, like I am writing all of these formulas in A4 size sheets, right? So you can do one thing, you can also write it in the sheet, in a particular sheet like I did, and then you try to paste it into your study wall or into your study room or wherever you study. Just paste it so that every time that you pass by that particular wall you see those formulas and it gets stuck into your head. Essentially just taking this paper or taking the notebook and mugging up formulas, you will forget it as soon as your syllabus gets completed. But if you make sure that the formulas are on there, like stuck to your wall, then it gets glued to your head forever. You must make sure that these formulas stay in your head, because I'm telling you repeatedly, it will be very, very important for your further future endeavors as well. So thank you so much. If you really like my video, then please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't ever forget to hit the notification bell icon for more of such exciting content. Hope you are getting everything that I'm trying to teach you. And now we will head next to our video, where we will be solving problems based on the 7 standard integrals that we have studied in this particular video. All right, so all the best.